Hi, my name's Jason Chatfield. I'm a syndicated cartoonist working out of Australia, and I've been asked by Wacom to try out the new Cintiq Companion Hybrid. Now, this isn't the standalone Windows tablet computer version, this is the one that runs Android. So it works as a standalone tablet in Android and as a Cintiq if you plug it into your computer using the HDMI and USB cable that comes with it, and it's compatible with both Mac and PC. Now, right up the top, in the interest of transparency, I don't work for Wacom, I never have, I haven't been paid to review this product. Would have been nice, but I haven't. I've been using Wacom tablets for over 10 years now, so I've been asked to test drive a lot of unreleased products for Wacom in the past, and I've always been really honest with them. And to their credit, they've always listened, no matter how honest I've been. One of the biggest gripes I've had was when I was asked to test drive the Cintiq 12WX, and it was so close to what we'd all been bugging them for, but it just wasn't there yet. It had to have its own power source, and it just wasn't portable. You literally couldn't use it on the road without a PowerPoint. That was the big thing, and thankfully, the tech is now available for the Cintiq Companion to exist. It's that missing link. They've nailed it. They didn't rush it, they took their time with it, they got the tech right, and now they're releasing it as a self-contained mobile tablet computer. I've been using this tablet solid for the past month, and I don't mean like playing around with it, I mean really putting it through its paces. So doing full days of work in real world scenarios, at home, overseas, traveling. I travel a lot with my work, so this tablet is something that I've been asking for a really long time. I've taken it on domestic trips over the last 4 weeks to Sydney to Perth. I've taken it overseas to Indonesia and done an actual bunch of finished work on it. So not just sketches and concepts like iPads, I can actually do finished work on this tablet, and that's the big advancement to me for this one. I currently have a Cintiq 21 in my studio at home, and I have an Intuos 4 for when I'm on the road usually. The big drawback though with the Intuos has always been that if you learn to draw traditionally by hand like me, you're not used to looking at the screen while your hand is drawing, and that takes a lot of getting used to. And your style changes as well, so it's not ideal. So I'm going to try and be as thorough as I can with this review, but I won't be able to cover absolutely everything. So what I'd like you to do is post any questions on stuff that I haven't covered in the comments below, and I can answer them personally. But make sure that you read through the previous comments first before posting your question, just in case I've already answered it, so we don't double up. Now, the product. The product is the Wacom Cintiq Companion Hybrid. The display is 13.3 inches. It's running an NVIDIA Tegra 4 processor with a full HD resolution of 1920 by 1080 with 16.7 million colors and 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity and multi-touch, just like the Cintiq 24. It comes in 16GB or 32GB options and weighs about 1.8 kilos, which is about 3.9 pounds. It has Wacom's trademark Boosters Express keys, the rocker ring, the home button, and the on-screen controls, and it also comes with an adjustable stand with about 3 different angles, which is pretty great, and that's really easy to set up too. It comes with the usual stable of pens and 10 interchangeable nibs. I actually prefer to use the classic pen with a felt tip nib, because it has that extra friction, kind of like pencil on paper. So it isn't the official pen that comes with the tablet, but it works perfectly fine, and it has the full tilt recognition of a regular Cintiq. It has 2 HD cameras front and back for video conferencing, some pretty nice speakers on the bottom, and full Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. I'd recommend getting a Bluetooth keyboard actually, if you don't like typing on tablet screens. It also comes with a felt carry case and a pen case if you don't own a laptop bag. If you've never used a Wacom product before, it's really, really easy to learn. And if you have used a Wacom product before, there's nothing new to learn about this. The interface it's just a miniature Cintiq. The only difference is I can take it out on my balcony and get some sun on my pasty skin. I have to admit, it did take a little bit of time to adjust to the screen and the size of everything, but it literally took maybe 60 seconds. As I mentioned earlier, in tablet mode, this model runs on Android OS. The other model runs Windows and is a complete tablet PC. My friend Anton tried that one out, so I don't really know anything about that one. Now, I know there's a lot of you whinging that it doesn't run Apple's OS X or iOS. Thing is, look, I'm an Apple fanboy myself, and I work on a Mac and have for 7 years, but are you kidding? You honestly thought Apple would let another company run its operating system on a non-Apple hardware? Really? You should know Apple better by now. They don't do that. The other important point to realize, and this is important, and I really don't like to admit it, but from that moment in late 2007 when Google unveiled Android and then it had its own plan to dominate the world of mobile devices, Google hasn't just tried to compete with Apple, it's succeeded. Android's share of the global smartphone market is approaching 80%, and Apple's has fallen below 20%. That's crazy. So a similar trend's underway with tablets. So in 2010, the iPad had about 90% of the tablet market. Now more than 60% of tablets sold run Android. So the decision for this tablet to run Android was actually pretty well made, even though I still hate Android. So if you really must use iOS, you're probably better off using the new Wacom Creative Stylus. It's called the Intuos Creative Stylus for iPad, and it's actually pretty cool. It's Bluetooth, so it actually handles the same level of pressure sensitivity as this Cintiq. Android's actually a really easy OS to learn if you haven't used it before, and with the NVIDIA processor, it's really fast. The lag time on the pen stroke, which is one of the most important factors for me working on a tablet, is remarkably low. If you had to measure it, you'd have a lot of trouble. It's very, very fast. I wish I could get a higher frame rate video to show you exactly what the precise delay is, but rest assured, it's minuscule, it's tiny. That was going to be the big deal breaker for me on this. If it was a big lag time on the tablet, it's too hard to replicate my style and the speed that I work at, so I wouldn't want it. When I first got the tablet, it was one of very few in existence in the world, so it had been built literally from the BIOS up and then sent to me. So there were a few little bugs and memory management issues, but after a couple of firmware updates, it was perfectly fine and it ran without any memory issues at all, which is great. There's an app called Astro File Manager which lets you pull your files from Dropbox or USB or a bunch of other sources. Ask me specific questions about this down in the comments. There's actually another program that you can get on the Mac or the PC that lets you transfer files between the tablet and the computer really easily too. I'm actually really impressed with the battery life. Owning an iPhone, I'm so used to the battery just running down halfway through the day. So I started an illustration commission at the departure lounge and I finished it on the plane on the tray table in under an hour, and I still had 8 hours of battery left. Then I used a Bluetooth keyboard and ran the MacBook in clamshell mode for the rest of the flight. The official battery life in tablet mode is 12 hours, and it actually is 12 hours. It doesn't just say it's 12 hours. If you are running it in tablet mode, you've got some pretty good apps to choose from. You've got the native Wacom drawing apps, as well as the Sketchbook Pro app, which is pretty great. Photoshop's Android app is okay, but obviously it's got less features than the desktop version. Which mode do I prefer? Well, it depends on what I'm doing. When I'm sketching and drawing up concepts and drafts, I love being able to sketch on the couch or outside and just be a little bit free with it, so I prefer tablet mode. But when I'm doing finished artwork, inking or coloring, I prefer hybrid mode. To be honest, it's really just because I'm stuck in my ways of using the OS X keyboard shortcuts, and I just work faster that way. Boiling it all right down, do I like drawing on it? The answer is yes. I've worked full days while traveling on this for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it means I'm not pulling all-nighters to get my artwork done before I leave for a trip. That's a really big thing for me. I can get the exact same result on this tablet as I can on my big Cintiq 21 in the studio. It does take a minute or two to get used to the resolution if you run it at 1920 by 1080, but the definition is very impressive. Whether it's the right product for you is obviously going to depend on the kind of work that you do, so it's worth using a friend's Android tablet just to see how Photoshop and some of the other mobile tablet apps work before you make the purchase. Speaking of that, the other big deal breaker apart from pen lag is obviously price point. These are the official prices for the Cintiq Companion Hybrid and the Cintiq Companion. So for my money, I think the 16 gig Companion Hybrid is well worth the price, and I'm definitely going to be buying one. You do have to sign up to the waiting list though, because they're going to sell out really quick. You can go to Wacom.com to find out how to sign up to that list. They're going to sell out in Australia. I'm not sure what the stocks are like in America, the UK, Japan, but this is definitely going to be a popular one with artists in Australia. So sign up to the waiting list. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to read through the other questions and comments below before you post yours, and please ask me about anything that I haven't covered in this review. Happy scribbling!